This is Will Buchanan reporting for the Walk for Liberty.
Today is August 6th, 2008, day 103. This is kind of strange. They've leveled out this big wide area where this hill used to be. I wonder if this is where the theorized superhighway that's supposedly going from Mexico to Canada will be coming through. Now, I don't know if a superhighway like that is actually being planned, or if it is, if that's where it would go through.
Although if it is to be built, from what I've heard, this is about the area it would be going through.
I don't even know that much about it. And what I have heard has mostly been from callers to the national radio talk show, Free Talk Live. The allegations I've heard is that a private foreign company, possibly under contract to the United States federal government, will be building a massive multi-lane superhighway from Mexico straight through to Canada, complete with rail and power lines, and possibly pipelines for water and oil as well. The theorists are worried, first of all, that it would be a foreign company building it, that it would be a breach to U.S. national sovereignty or security or something like that. They also allege that truckers would be able to drive all the way from Mexico through to Canada without stopping at U.S. Customs. Finally, they worry that this could be the first step to a North American Union linking the governments of Canada, United States, and Mexico, similar to the way the European Union links the European governments. There are many issues here, so I'd like to address them one by one. First, the issues that I agree with the theorists on. If that highway were to come about, I'm wondering how the company would acquire the land to build it on. I'm worried that, with the federal government being involved, that the company might not acquire it through voluntary transactions with the landowners, but rather through the federal government forcibly purchasing it via eminent domain. In which case, I'm completely opposed to the project. The second thing is that this would be a first step toward a North American Union. I'm not really clear on how this would necessarily be a first step toward a North American Union. After all, the European Union was formed without a superhighway linking all of the countries there. In any case, though, I despise the idea of a North American Union linking the governments of Mexico, the United States, and Canada. I don't even like the fact that there's one overarching United States federal government.
I'm in favor of New Hampshire becoming independent, and if people in other states want to become independent, I'll support them as well.
So I certainly don't want there to be an even bigger government over the United States as well. And now on to the issues in which I disagree with them. First, the idea that truckers wouldn't have to stop at U.S. Customs.
And really, customs involves the issues of borders and so-called U.S. sovereignty, but that's a completely other topic. So for now, I'll stick with the more practical aspects of customs.
What is it that U.S. Customs is even supposedly doing? Is it that they're checking for contraband items such as illegal drugs? If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know I'm completely opposed to the war on drugs, not the least of which is because it does more harm than good, so I would be against that function of customs. Or is it that they're supposedly checking the safety of the products which are coming in? In which case, why is it that a big, bureaucratic, unaccountable organization with no incentives like the government would do a better job at checking than the companies themselves who actually depend upon the safety of their products for their livelihood?
The government doesn't have any incentives to make sure the products coming in are safe. And if some of them aren't, then who is held accountable?
Whereas the company selling the products has a huge incentive for them to be safe, because if they're not, they'll take a hit in the marketplace, both reputation-wise and financially. The final issue, which I disagree with the people speculating about the superhighway on, is related to the possibility that the company building the highway would be foreign-owned.
Private property is, well, private, and you shouldn't have any say, at least through the force of government, over who somebody can or can't sell their own private property to.
So the issue over whether it's a so-called foreign or American company should be completely irrelevant. However, if, for whatever reason, you don't like foreign companies, then you also have the freedom to decide for yourself not to interact with them. The way I feel about this whole superhighway issue is this. If the U.S. government, either by themselves or by hiring another company, decides to build a highway, especially if the land for that highway is taken through eminent domain, then I'm completely opposed to that. However, if a private company, regardless of whether it's foreign or domestic owned, decides to purchase consecutive plots of land through voluntary transactions with the landowners, and then decides to take the risk of building a highway on that land, regardless of the origin or destination, in the hope that they can convince enough people to drive on that highway to make it profitable,
then what's wrong with that? Isn't that just good old entrepreneurism, which is supposed to be the American way?
I think I'll go home and mull this over before I cram it down my throat. At long last it's crashed, its colossal mass is broken up into bits in my world. Break the mattress off the floor, pop the cramps off of the other in the cold. Heavy and dark skin, hide the fact you're dead again. Underneath the power line, seeking shade.
For those of you who don't know, the porcupine is the mascot of the Free State Project.
Which is the whole reason why I'm moving to New Hampshire.
It's a group of individuals who desire more freedom from government in their lives, and who have pledged to move to New Hampshire, along with other like-minded individuals who have already moved there, in order to work to reduce the size of government on both the state and local level, through both political and apolitical means. If the idea of living nearby many other liberty-oriented individuals sounds appealing to you, as well as having a good chance to reduce the size of government to achieve liberty in your lifetime, then sign up for it today at freestateproject.org.
Oh, and tell them the Walk for Liberty sent you.
I walked about 20 1/4 miles today. Here are my GPS coordinates. This is Will Buchanan for blog.walkforliberty.com, signing off.